So welcome everyone to my talk. You can test everything, but you should monitor it, or our journey to OpenSearch. So I will talk about an incident that happened at our warehouse, and we should have recognized this much more earlier, but with the help of OpenSearch, we will in the future. So my name is Michi, or Michael. I'm the head of code at Crew. So Crew, what are we doing at Crew? Let me quote one of our three founders, Philip. As Europe's leading photo booth provider, we have made it our mission to help our brides and groom with their complete journey to their dream wedding. This is something we work tirelessly on with our team. So, photo booth provider, this is our main product. A photo booth for rent, for weddings, birthday celebrations, bar mitzvahs, or company events. So we ship the photo booth before the event to the customer. The customer assembles it. Then it's at the celebration, creating some memories, hopefully. And after the event, the customer sends it back to us. And at our warehouse, we then download the photos and so on, and the customer will have like an online gallery which they can share with their guests. So this is how it looks like in action for those of you who have not used a photo booth before. I was questioned this today and yesterday also. There you also see the printer. The people can print out the photos they take already. So let's focus on the main product and the photo booth cycle. So first, the photo booth is on the shelf, idling, doing nothing, waiting for the next booking. Then, when a booking is set into fulfillment, there are some health checks running on the photo booth before it gets selected and configured with the design the customer has selected. Afterwards, the photo booth gets packed and shipped with the necessary devices, like, for example, the printer, the tripod, or the flash. Then the photo booth is out for delivery to the customer, hopefully arriving on time. Well, normally it does. Then it's in action at the customer, so the people are using it. After the event, the customer sends the photo booth back, so it gets returned at our warehouse in the fulfillment. It gets returned, checked, and cleaned. And afterwards, it gets placed onto the shelf again, where our fulfillment server, which is on site, starts downloading the photos of the photo booth. And then afterwards, the photo booth is idling again, waiting for the next booking. So this is me with two of my colleagues on our first day at Crew, visiting the warehouse together with two of our founders. And as you can see in the background, the shelf, as an example, with the photo booths, with the blue screen. The blue screen is nothing bad, like you may expect from an operating system. It's like just idling there and waiting. So it was the off-season, not many weddings at this time, so waiting before the high season starts. But not always everything goes as planned, right? We all know that. We've all been through. So let's get back to the photo booth cycle. So we have some critical parts in there. We can actually manage, like delivery and returning, for example. Sometimes we can organize stuff with a shipper, but mostly it's not in our hands. But when it's at the warehouse, this is in our hands, and we can like optimize stuff over there, or when there are problems happening, we can like get rid of the problems. So in the high season, the photo booths are not that long on the shelf. That means they get placed onto the shelf, the photos get downloaded, and it can be then 10, 15 minutes later, the photo booth is already configured for the next event, ready to be shipped out again, right? But exactly on this point, the downloading of the photos, we had a problem. So this is how it looks when it's good. So the average speed, the download speed of the photos is about 12 megabytes per second. That's super good because the photo booths are there for 2 up to 6 minutes downloading the photos. Even when you see the last line, it's 1,199 photos that have been taken. It's also like 6 minutes. That's super good, right? Well, this is how it looks when things go bad. The download speed was under 1 megabyte per second. You see also not the last line, the line before the last line. The photo booth was there sitting for almost 1 hour, and it didn't have as much images as the one that was sitting there for 6 hours when everything went good. So that's super bad. That's when fulfillment called us and said, like, everything is so slow. And we were like, everything? What's going on? Then we checked at our black hole Slack channel and we realized, like, yeah, it's the downloading of the photo booths. There, we have a problem. Oh no. We are not able to ship out the photo booths in time. So that's super, super bad. So everyone needed help over there and to get rid of the problems, but we were not able to do this in time. Super sad. So what could it be? It can be a hardware error from a switch, broken network cable, the network interface on the fulfillment server. It can be a bug in the code on the fulfillment server. It can be a problem from the network configuration or the operating system configuration or an update on the operating system and so on. So it can be everything, right? So we had absolutely no clue. There was no update in the code and so on. So yeah, super, super bad. So also transferring some test data was super fast. So what's going on? The download speed of the photo booths was slow, but test data was transmitted fast. So yeah, totally crazy. So let's start to investigate. So first, when did it happen? Why did it happen? How to prevent and how to notice early in the future. We don't want to run into the same problem, right? But first, we must get rid of the actual problem. So when did it start? Yeah, like I said, we had this black hole Slack channel as kind of database. Yeah, not good, I know, but at least we had some data we were able to work with. So we started to export the data. This took some time, of course. And then we had one JSON file per day from the Slack channel. There was a lot of stuff in there. We had like a lot of metrics and logs and so on, but everything in this black hole. Nice. So, okay, let's start. So write a script to extract the data we need, put it into a CSV, import the data to MySQL, then write a query to aggregate by day, and create a nice chart, because if you visualize the stuff, you get like more of an overview of what really happened, right? Yeah, of course, this took us some time to filter everything, download the stuff, export the stuff from the Slack, and so on. Yeah, but afterwards, yay, we had a nice graph, right? And surprise, surprise, this started a long time ago, but we didn't notice. We didn't have that many events and celebrations during COVID-19. And then when the high season, the first high season after these 2 years started back again, the problem started. But it started a long time ago. So what happened? Any guesses? Someone? No? Well, small tip. This was also around the time when it was the first day at the new warehouse. We rented a space over there, so we did not have access to their network equipment. We needed to trust them. Well, it was a network configuration error, which we were not able to test before because the stuff worked, right? Everything worked. Transferring data was super fast, and it worked. But actually transferring data from multiple photo booths at the same time and a lot of images, then everything collapsed. Yeah, super bad. So how to prevent or test in the future? Actually, I have no idea. So bad things can happen all the time, right? Like, for example, what I already said, like a broken network cable, a failed update, and so on. So bad things happen all the time. So I have actually no idea how to test this or prevent this. But we can work on how we notice much earlier in the future, so we don't get a call from the fulfillment team and telling us that we have problems somewhere. That's super bad, right? So there must be something, right? Metrics, monitoring, and so on. There must be some tools, and you know where this road goes to, right? Yeah, OpenSearch. So my brother, they are doing like ops as a service for us with his team. He told me like, yeah, let's try out OpenSearch. And I was like, OpenSearch? They do like full text search and vector database and so on. Well, I was wrong. And when I saw all those talks in the last 2 days, I was even more wrong with the capabilities of OpenSearch. So super interesting, super cool. So yeah, we started. We set up like an OpenSearch instance. Like I said, we already had the data in our application. We just needed to publish them to OpenSearch, like save them to a file, put it into OpenSearch with FileBeat. Super easy, right? And afterwards, like, we already had some data in we can work with. Super cool. This was implemented so fast since we had those business metrics already. And we also had some super nice graphs with 2 or 3 more clicks, which are much more insightful than the graph I shown before, because here we have the median download speed, we have the maximum download speed, and the lowest download speed we had. So lowest download speed, this happens in between, because if a customer didn't really use the photo booth, it's just 4 images, the metrics and the calculations are not that good at this moment. But now we need to talk how to notice early. Well, monitoring and alerts, super easy, super cool. I didn't heard of this before, that you're, like I said, like that you are able to do this with OpenSearch. So first, create a monitor, select the monitor type, like the query you're willing to use. Afterwards, select the data source, so select your index you want to use with it. Then write the query down. This, I would say, was the part that took a little bit longer, because it was like 2 years ago when OpenSearch 2 was released. Like we heard yesterday, the documentation at this time was not really good. And I really needed to figure it out how this works, this syntax of this query language. But there were some examples somewhere here and there, and I was able to figure it out. Cool. Then we need a trigger on the return value we have from the query. And then just create a notification. Yeah, this also goes into a Slack channel, but I promise it's this time not a black hole, and we monitor this much more carefully. And there we have it already, our first alerting in our Slack channel. Super cool, super easy. This all was implemented then in 1 day, so fantastic. And we also like had a lot of other business metrics already in this black hole Slack channel, which nobody was able to use or get like insights out of it. And with the help of OpenSearch dashboards now, we were able to create a lot of insightful dashboards and graphs for the whole team, like for the fulfillment team, for example, the photo booths which have been online on the shelf. So they can see like when there is like the high season starts in the morning, they're putting the photo booths out and so on. Then they replace them with a fresh one which just came back and got returned. So they see what really is going on. So they have really meaningful insights on the whole process over there. Also like the downloads that happened at the warehouse, the images that have been uploaded, the images that have been downloaded, and so on. So that's super fantastic dashboards and insights also for our upper management. So what else? Online photo booth alerts. So we also had this problem that there was like a small incident on a Sunday. We already did set this up. That's super cool. So we were alerted. So one of us drove to the warehouse, fixed the problem, and the people were already able to work. The fulfillment team was able to work in the morning then on Monday without any interruptions. So super cool and so super easy to use. And like you see, it says like online in the US. So we also started like 7 days ago with our business in the United States. So that's also very powerful tooling. So we were able to help our colleagues in the fulfillment in the US. So what's next? For monitoring, like imagine marketing, they send out an email with a wrong link, or they publish an advertisement and someone changes a path or a slug and did not set up a redirect correct. We will get alerted. Of course, I don't want to be alerted for every 404 that happens on our website, because this happens regularly, right? But I want to be alerted when a certain threshold have been passed. So that's super cool that we can tell the marketing team that they have a problem somewhere. We are all sitting in this boat together. So we want to do as much as we can to help the whole business to grow, right? And we were able to do this all without writing any complex cron jobs or something like this, or putting our data in MySQL and so on. So that's super cool. Coming back to the main topic, you can test everything, but you should monitor it. There will always be things that can happen, and things can go bad. So, and also if something sometimes go bad, think about it in the future, like how can we monitor the metric for this? And is there a threshold? How can we have an alert in advance so we can react in a quicker time and see that something went wrong with an update or something else? And the title comes from because I'm a software engineer and I actually love writing tests, not as some others maybe. And I can test a lot of stuff, right? But in the ops, you can't. There can always be something bad happening, but we want to know it in advance, right? Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you very much for your time. Any questions, feedback, notes? Yeah?
So we basically hit a lot of these issues ourselves with different sections of the organizations that we used to work for, where we didn't have the data, or we had the data, but we didn't have the alerts, but there were cases where the alerting system would fail. For example, in your case, if I bring it back to your scenario, what if the Slack channel goes down? In the sense of, yeah, in the sense I sent the alert, but I didn't get it in the Slack channel. You had an alert, the system worked perfectly, but you didn't actually see it, and therefore you lost it. Right?
That's interesting. Yeah, you're correct. So maybe we should set up another
notification channel. So going into an email, for example, or SMS, or calling us out. Or if we receive the alert in Slack, what if nobody responded to it and therefore it needs to call out? Stuff like that. Or scenarios where, you know what, your photo booths, I don't know whether or not you're monitoring the RAM usage, CPU usage, disk usage, stuff like that. You can also ingest those into OpenSearch and then have that monitoring as an alert. It's just, I think the possibilities are endless. And we are exactly on the same boat. We do that ourselves for our clients and what we do as a business, but we just keep on finding faults. And we create high availability fault tolerance based on the faults that we find to make sure that it never happens again. And we actually introduce testing into that, in the sense of we, at a particular time of the day, we make the alert trigger to make sure that it's working still.
Okay, that's super interesting. Thanks for the insights and for the tips. Nice.
Thank you very much. It was a very interesting talk.
Thanks.